Welcome to Sterling to Silva Ministries. Today we're going to talk about fairness. Fairness is your double-edged sword in life to keep you protected from the world's, let's say, mishaps, evil, and spiritual protection. Like my father always said, a fair exchange is no robbery. People of Christ and of God always keep everything straight and fair. See, like a scale, a fairness is balance. If things are unbalanced, one person has more than the other, whether it's power, money, good looks, or whatever. But through Jesus Christ, we can even the scales. How? From the divine. Okay? So, the situation in wars nowadays, the reason why everybody's warring is because one side isn't fair. I'm not into politics, I'm into Jesus Christ. Everything that you see in the Middle East is all prophesized. In Luke 21 and 20, Israel is surrounded by its armies. And this time, the desolation is here. The reason why is because of lack of unfairness. I believe both sides, and it's not a liberal standpoint, I believe both sides have done some unfair acts to each other. For instance, I'm 51 years old, and ever since I was a little boy, even when I had my paper out, I remember looking at the Beirut situation, and then I remember watching the news and watching how Israel would bulldoze the Gaza Strip and just like throw those people out into the scorching heat. What people don't realize is the Middle East is scorching heat, like the Bible says, 120 degrees. You can't train military troops in 120 degrees. You can't fight a war in 120 degrees. You can't find food in 120 degrees. The only thing out in deserts are scorpions and snakes. So not only are both sides living in 120 degree weather, they're being unfair. So maybe it's their land technically, because by the way, you cannot hate Jewish people because those are God's people. It says in the Bible, I cannot hate Jewish people. So I can't jump on your bandwagon of hate for the Jewish people, and I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of hate for the Muslim people. The Bible says I have other sheep, Gentiles, and that's people like me or you who are no longer Jew or Muslim. Okay, so we must love these people unconditionally and not judge them and not take a side. We're not going to take sides because Satan is the ruler of the system of things. And if he wasn't, remember when Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights? Satan offered him the kingdom of the world if he'd bow down and do an act of worship. But he refused. He said, my kingdom is in heaven. So if Satan wasn't the ruler of the system of things, how could he offer Jesus the kingdoms of the world? So if you're really a true believer of God, you believe in the divine, you know that this is the end times, and you won't vote for Biden or Trump. I didn't, and you know what it did? It was fair. It saved me from arguments with my family. My family literally got divided by Biden and Trump because these people are satanic leaders. Okay? The reason why you have to be satanic to be in the government is because of the casualties. You know, like the casualties in Lahaina, the casualties of war, you know, you're going to be chopped up as a casualty, and you have to be okay with pulling the trigger, giving the orders, shooting the Black Hawk, Hellcat missile, or the F-22 missile. These are dragons, by the way, that they talk about in the Bible in the Apocalypse. You know, what would you rather get hit by? A dragon blowing fire, or a laser-guided drone or laser-guided missile? Okay? So that's what we're dealing with now, is laser-guided missiles, drone attacks, like Terminator. And it's unfair. Why? Because we're human beings and we have artificial intelligence killing us. So that's not fair. So things like the land grab in Lahaina and, a lot of things you see on the news are unfair. But that's okay. You need to realize and you need to be happy is because in Matthew 10:22 it says, brother will rise against brother, war against each other. Earthquakes right after Israel was surrounded, by the way. That day in Afghanistan, there's a 2,000 dead people earthquake the same day. So not only is Jesus Christ real, the prophecies are right on. If you go down to my lower video, Revelation prophecies, I match them all up. The locusts coming out of the bottomless pit in Las Vegas. That was in November July 27th, 2021. I'm dyslexic. I have a hard time talking. And so right now in Manoa, like I always said, this is a rainforest. Just like it says in Revelations 12, God has held back the wind and the rain for 4 months here. It hasn't really rained for 4 months. In fact, if one match lights up this whole, would light up this whole mountain, and everyone thinks it's like, where I live, it's like university, communist, all government and stuff. And so nobody ever believes me over here, you know what I mean? It's full of Toyotas and Lexuses, But the people from the Holy Spirit, they're looking crooked. It comes out in you, you know what I mean? Because they got the pandemic. The pandemic was created so that the meek and the poor inherit the earth. Okay? The meek and the poor inherit the earth. Not the people driving the Lexuses. Not the people with the houses. You know why? Because during the pandemic, everybody was poor. It took away all the money. Those were the angels going around the world blowing the trumpets. Satan's establishment is over. Did you know that? I'm an executive producer. I have 1,100 videos and songs in my old world, punk rock, rap, and all that, record deals. But I gave all that up. Why? Because the music industry is over. What happened to bands like Def Leppard? Have you heard a Billboard chart hit lately? Nobody listens to music. That's why I switched to ministries. Everyone's into podcasting and drama and stuff. I'll tell people, hey, listen to my songs. So, but they want to hear the drama about being a rapper, how people got shot, all that. So you know what? I was like, I'm kind of done with the music right now. Even though I'm my song catalog is the largest in the world. So, if you Google my name, Sterling De Silva, it comes up, Atlantic Records and Rock Nation. But why did I give it all up? Because it's unfair. That's right. It's unfair to, have all that money, and then there's poor people, You go on my YouTube, Panamera, Porsches, nightclubs, all that stuff I have, you know what I mean? And what it did to me was just make me unfair, So fairness is going to protect you. Because if you're fair with everybody, they have no reason to go against you. You feel me? It's balance. I surf. I have balance. Okay? Unfairness is unbalanced. So when you're unfair, people are going to want to balance the scales. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And nothing's wrong with that because that brings balance, right? So it's important as a Christian to always keep everything fair and straight. And when I say straight, I mean your sexuality, straight. Your money, straight. Like, for instance, this table right here, whoever designed the table is perfectly square, okay? If it was all wobbly and stuff and the lines weren't straight on the table, you couldn't sell it. Okay? And that's life. God's tool is mathematics, okay? And science. There is no difference. There is no war between science and God, okay? Mathematics and science is God's tool, okay? And, if everybody's same sex, that's kind of unfair to the human race. Why? Because if man and woman don't breed, that's the extinction of the human race. So that's unbalanced. I have nothing to say negative about, the LGBT community, communism. Communism isn't fair either. Everybody thinks communism is a joke in America, and it's like democracy. It's so funny. All these people, oh yeah, we're communists and stuff. Well, you gotta go watch the movie The Killing Fields. You gotta talk to people from North Korea or China and Beijing and Tiananmen Square. When they were protesting, they killed them all. Then did you know that every bullet that was used in the killings, the people who died their families had to pay for those bullets? That's real communism. It's unfair. Okay? So the New World Order or whatever is a communist, kink, sex slave. It's Agenda 21. The end of all essential flights. The end of essential property ownership. Like that's why they're burning up properties and taking them. The end of natural remedies. Multiple vaccines. The end of universal child care. Okay? So basically, it's another new world order. And I just read this book on Reader's Digest that said, it's called the Lost Civilizations. So I looked at all these lost civilizations of the world, and they have the same goal: world domination. They have the same pyramids. They have the same structures. They have the same human sacrifices. And you go, wow, and like the Mayans, they sacrificed humans and stuff. And cocaine, mummies and cocaine in Egypt, cocaine up in Aztec in Mexico. Excuse my dyslexia, like I cannot talk. But what's very strange is they all had the same goal in mind: world empires, the New World Order. So Satan whispers the same plan in everybody's ear. And now our world leaders have the same plan: pyramids on the money, the same program. So that's why our civilization too is being destroyed. It's going to be destroyed. See, God, this is the earth. God created the earth. The earth is always going to be here. The trees will grow back. Everything will go back. But that same civilization will not be here. And what separates us from the other civilizations that died is that Jesus Christ gave his life for us. If you watch Passion of the Christ, he actually died for us, for all of you, for your porn stars, for you gang members, for you people in the LGBT, for everybody he died for us. Okay? Just because you're part of something that is wicked or worldly doesn't mean you can't be part of Jesus Christ. Just because you're trans doesn't mean you can be part of Jesus Christ. Just because you're gay doesn't mean you don't have to believe in Jesus Christ. Still believe in Jesus Christ, because you know what? Maybe you were born to like Barbie dolls or whatever. That's a natural thing. I think, that you should just go celibate. That's what I did. I mean, I owned the Triple X company. I was a rock star, all kinds of stuff. I just went celibate. You know what I mean? You know why? I went celibate? Because I don't want to share myself with any of y'all. Because it's really, really, really weird what everybody's into. Like, I was reading Revelations, and it was talking about a man-child. And I'm like, what's a man-child? What's a man-child? And I figured out what a man-child is. A 40-year-old who plays Pokemon and Magic cards and plays video games and lives at home with his parents. That's right here in Manoa. And you know what? How did I find it? From Dr. Phil. He was on Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil said to the parents, it's your fault because you let this 40-year-old live with you in your home till you're 40 years old. So a lot of us in this world have turned into man-children because of technology. Everyone speaks in cartoon emojis, cartoons. Like, people are looking like cartoons at 60 years old. I watched a 60-year-old lady the other day with her hair half chopped and with green in it. And I don't know what, maybe it's trendy. Everybody's looking like that. You're gonna look like what you're into. If you're not clear on your gender or your sexuality and stuff, you're gonna look, pardon my French, queer. Okay, queer means offensive, by the way. If you look in the definition of that means offensive, not gay. It means offensive. You know, the mustache and the dress, that's offensive. Okay? So that's what you're going to look like, because you're not too sure what gender you are, what sexuality you want and stuff. And that's fine. That's fine, but we're going to go back to the man-child. Is it Halloween for you every day that you have to celebrate in a costume? No, okay? It's okay. We all sin. We all fall short of the glory of God. But look at what you're doing. Be an individual with God. You don't have to be with these trends of the world. It's not fair. It's not fair to your family. It's not fair to your kids. It's not fair to God. Okay? You need to be a clean spirit. You need to be straight and upright. You know, all these people with these Lexuses and stuff, I'm not going to name the race because I'm not a racist, but they're crooked. They're like this. You know what I mean? And $387 million got stolen from the coronavirus funds. Right? And these people got all these brand new Lexuses and brand new Toyotas, huh? You know what I mean? How? Because, you know, I'm in the record industry and we're going broke. How are you guys getting all this money in Hawaii? And what wasn't fair was in 1898, as a Hawaiian, in 1898, the land was stolen from Hawaii and sold to private landowners. So if you won't buy a stolen bike or you won't buy a stolen car, you'll buy a stolen house. That's not fair to the Hawaiians. And that's why in Hawaii, you're going to see a destruction so big. God hates this island and this state the most, because Zuckerberg is here now. He owns Kauai. Oracle owns Lanai. You know, Josh Green was given $200 million to do whatever he wants right before the Lahaina fire, and 1,000 kids are missing, and not one person cares about the 1,000 kids missing in Lahaina. There hasn't been one bulletin about one kid missing. You know, and nobody cares. In the background, you can hear people laughing and having a great time in the world. Not me. I care. My heart, because I'm a Christian, a real one, a man of Christ. You know what I mean? It's really a bad situation. No one cares. It's not fair. But you know what? God cares. And like I said, it hasn't rained. Like rain. By now, over here, I'll show you. By now, usually at this time, it's raining like crazy up here in Manoa. I've lived here all my life. Okay? And fairness is God and the Holy Spirit. So you want to be fair in life on everything. Okay? You owe somebody money, pay them back. That's fair. You know what I mean? Share everything you have. That's divinity. Okay? But being in political organizations, institutions that are created to oppress, to divide, most of them are under the shadow of philanthropy. But it's not fair. So in life, you want to keep everything straight. A fair exchange is no robbery. There's too much robbery going around in life. And it's because people have been driven by the self. ideology, self-realization, love myself, take care of myself, every man for himself. Okay, you're going to see that. You know, every man is by himself now because there's a political campaign against men. They want to destroy us and demasculate, feminize us. Why? Because the communist New World Order. They know if everybody's femme or a sissy that they're going to be able to implicate their communist agenda without a battle, and it's true. Did you see them take the White House? Did you see them take Hamas? That was at a rave, a love fest, a gay fest or whatever. The girls were dancing by themselves, blocking the men. And the men came up and snatched the girls. I watched it with my own eyes. Go watch the video. That's what happens when there's no men around. Other men come and snatch up the women and the children, and that's what's happening now. Not only is it a land grab, it's a, you know, Epstein and all those, you know, Oprah and all those. Go watch Sound of Freedom with Mel Gibson. Okay? Another Mel Gibson movie about how children are being trafficked all over the world and nobody cares. Because you know why? They got to pay for these Toyotas. And this is how Hawaii is. You see them all. They're silent. Real silent. Brother, as long as nobody knows, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Wicked, bro. Wicked. This island, this state is a wicked state. Like, they can just grab $300 million from the COVID funds and nobody cares. But the feds do. See, the feds, they're on it. See, in Hawaii, everyone thinks that they have the right to steal. You know? And it's unfair. You know what I mean? Don't ever buy a house here. Don't buy a house. Don't move here ever. You're going to be in a real bad situation. You know what you're going to be forced to do? Be corrupt. You're going to be forced to go get that job at you know, as a teacher or something, and they're going to force you to push an unfair agenda. Then you're going to work for the state, and they're going to force you to do corrupt stuff. Why? So you can pay for your stolen house. Yeah, the house is stolen. In 1898, the property was stolen and sold to private landowners. So all these people who think they got, you know, a great house and stuff, you're the only one in the world who bought a stolen house that's documented as theft. That's why the hurricane came through Hurricane Iniki and wiped out Kauai. The whole island got wiped out. But they rebuilt it again. That's why Hilo, the volcano, came, wiped it out. So, you know, I'm just telling people, because I'm a fair person and a man of God, that be prepared in Hawaii or around the world for them to scorch the earth with fire. Because like in Noah, people were like, you know, oh, Noah's crazy, you know, the flood's not going to come. Well, guess what happened? Noah built the ark all drunk, and the flood came, and the flood really was here. The Ark of the Covenant is on top of Mount Zion. I mean, everything is true in the Bible. I'm sorry, all you atheists, man-child, all whatever you are, you know, politicians, or you know, whatever you are of the world. Enjoy it. Enjoy your world. Because you know what? It's about to come down hard. You know why? Like Hunger Games, a loaf of bread is $7 now. Is that fair? See, I'm okay. I'm a Hawaiian. I got Section 8, EBT. I am under communism and socialism. You know why? Because I'd rather be that than have $1 million. Because when I had $1 million and all that money and stuff, guess what everybody did? I fed everybody. I tried to be fair. But you know what they all did when I stopped feeding them? They bit me. That's how people are. They're dogs. You feed them, you love them, and you give them everything. You spoil them. That's what I did because I thought that was the right thing to do. You know? And I was like, really, I cried when I couldn't do it anymore and everyone turned their back on me and bit me all at once, talked about me, tried to ruin me. You know what I mean? That's not fair. So people aren't fair nowadays. I would advise you not to get involved with people. You know what I mean? Read the Lord. Go surf. Do hobbies. You know what I mean? I'm a professional surfer too. I surf. I did everything. Music, surf, everything. And you know what? It was great at the time, but now it's time for me to preach because God is in me, and I love God, and He's beautiful. And He's the one who made me in top shape at 51. He's the one who gave me the music. He's the one who gave me the surfing. He's the one who made me born here. So I got to give back to Him and tell all you guys about it. And I want you guys to live with fairness and grace and love. I want you to be fair. Drop all the politics. Drop the politics. Drop all that. All that stuff you're learning in school, politics. Go to school for mathematics and stuff. But the politics, stop that. Because it's unfair. Okay? I can't handle it anymore. And Trump's running again, and it's going to be a nightmare. This is a really unfair world. It's really unfair, and I'm just like to the point where I want to get raptured. Do you know that the world's not going to come to an end? And World War III is going to end in 2 days. And it's not going to be a nuclear war. We're going to win. Those missiles aren't going to get off the ground. Why? Because we got lasers now. Like in the Super Friends where they had a laser and got rid of the submarine and stuff. Well, that happened in Russia. They're like, oh my God, a submarine just disappeared. That's right, we got lasers. Boom, the submarine disappeared. Why do you think Putin hasn't hit the button? And what wasn't fair to me or the population was the false nuclear drill we had in Hawaii a couple years back. And that's when I learned about my family and who were people. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think God gave me the authority over man that day because I got a text on my phone that said, nuclear missile coming in 25 minutes. This is not a drill. And the first thing I did was I better call my mom and my family and everything in the mainland. And what they said was, oh, what can we do about it, Sterling? I love you and I wish you luck. I went, what? I was like, oh, I'm so glad I know Jesus. But then after I prayed, it didn't come. And we could say this and that, but I'm going to say it was God because I prayed. Because it said it's not a drill. But after that, I had to cut off my family. Because they're atheists and communists and lesbians. I mean, nothing against that, nothing against all y'all, but that's not what I'm about. I'm sorry. I'm 51 years old. I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I can't be about that. It's so foreign to me. If you guys want to do that, that's fine. But you know what? Go get baptized in Christ too. Okay? Because as many grains of sand on the beach, that's how much people will not inherit God's kingdom. You might make it to heaven, but at the DMV, there's a long line. You're going to have to stand in line for judgment. But if you're baptized and have the seal of God on you, you're going to get right up. God's real. I mean, look, there's a whole Bible full of prophecy that matches up. Go watch the History Channel, Mysteries of the Bible. Why would the Smithsonian Institute make all these shows about the Bible? Why does every professional athlete or person of greatness stand up there and thank God and goes to church? Stephen Curry, all of them. Why? Because Jesus is real and He's fair. Do you think it's fair for you to go up to heaven if when you were down here on earth you were unfair? Why would He bring you up there to be unfair in a righteous kingdom? And screw things up there. Put your politics up there. Put all your kinkiness up there. Why would He want that up there? You did that down here. But if you get the seal and get baptized for Jesus Christ, that shows God that you care. That evens the scale of fairness. Does that make sense? And you know what's the greatest thing about God and miracles? Is every day is a new day and you can reinvent yourself, right? Like you could have been gay yesterday and be straight today. Yeah. You can make the decision, you know, or you could have been straight today and celibate, or straight yesterday and in sexual immorality, but then straight today and celibate. Or you could have been a thief yesterday, but today you're a saint. That's the miracle of God. You can reinvent yourself every day. That's why don't get stuck in sin. Don't get stuck in a swag. Like I said, my journey of life, I've been a producer, I've been a surfer, I've been a timeshare broker, I've done everything because I could reinvent myself every day. And me too have been involved with sexual immorality. But you know what? I stopped. Okay, like a ceasefire. Ceasefire on the kink. Ceasefire on the violence. Ceasefire on the unfairness. Ceasefire on the hate. Ceasefire. Stop. And do something beautiful for somebody. Unconditionally. Help the wrecked. You know, don't help your friends. Don't help, you know, your family. Help people you don't know that just don't have a chance. Like somebody who's handicapped, somebody who's blind, somebody who just is down, somebody who's hungry. Help people you don't know. That balances the scales of fairness for Christ. Okay? Don't attack people. And I'm sorry if I feel like I'm attacking certain groups, but I mean, it's getting out of control. It's unfair. Like people discriminate against me because I'm a man of God. They don't like me. You know what I mean? And a black man, they don't like me. Black lives don't matter, you know what I mean? They stole that too. That was unfair. LGBT community stole our movement and made their movement powerful through our movement. I look through their feeds, there's not one black person, one black thing in their whole thing, except Black Lives Matter on a stamp. But there's no, and then I'm like, hey, hi, and they ignore me. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That really upset the black community, by the way. We're really upset about that. The black community is really upset about how our Black Lives Matter got jacked. All the money got stolen from the white people. How's that? They stole our movement. Was that fair? That's how this world is. Everybody steals. Theft of Hawaii, you know, theft of the Middle East, you know. The reason why you can't blame Arabs is because since the early 20s and 30s when the auto industry came out, everyone's tried to kill them and take all their oil. In Afghanistan, take all the resources. Is that fair? That's what we're talking about with unfairness. That's why we have to make things fair in this world. Okay? And you can't blame this community, those people, this. You know who you gotta blame? You, me. I'm taking the responsibility for the world's problems. So what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you about it and be fair. I'm going to try to even the scales out before I see God and preach the kingdom of the Lord and how everyone should be fair. If someone greets you in a friendly greeting, aloha, you're going to greet them back. That's the right thing to do. That's the fairness to do. The fair thing to do. Excuse me about my speech. So everybody needs to be fair in life. Everybody needs to share. Everybody needs to care. Go to Isaiah 32, 17 through 19 and learn about fairness. Okay? Treat people better than you'll treat yourself. Then the divine will help you and assist you in all your goals. You know what I mean? Be nice to your enemies. You know what I mean? Don't discriminate. You know what I mean? Even though I said that stuff about the LGBT community or whatever, I'm going to be fair and treat them better than myself. Why? Because maybe they'll see the reflection in me. You know what I mean? And come to Christ. Come to Christ. That's fair. That's the least thing you could do is come to Christ and live for Christ and make the scales fair. And in that note, thank you for watching Story the Silva Ministries, and I'll see you later. Aloha.